All right, so how to improve your focus and tune into your intuition. So, my name is Jane Lee, and I'll talk a little bit more about my background for those that don't know me. And then we'll walk through specific steps and tips on how to improve your focus. Then we'll do the same for tuning into your intuition. And then we'll do the actual exercise together, the focus exercise and one or two intuition exercises where you can use a real question that you have in your mind and we can test it out and you can get a feel for what it feels like. And then please stay tuned to the end because I have a gift for everyone that is joining this webinar. So stay at the end, we'll talk about the gift and then there'll be time for Q&A. All right. Let me just. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Jane Lee, and I'm a yoga and meditation teacher for those that don't know me. Also, the author of a book called The Answer: How to Get the Best Answers to Your Life's Biggest Questions. Some of the things that we talk about today are in my book. So, if you want to get more details and more in depth on how to tune into your intuition, there's more in the book. And I'm also a well-being coach and a certified Qigong medical practitioner. So, in other words, I do energy work, energy healing. My goal is to help you connect to your inner peace. And I started with yoga over 20 years ago when I was in university. And I did it on and off. And then about 12 years ago, I became a yoga teacher and was teaching yoga and meditation. But it wasn't until I actually got diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago that my yoga and meditation practice went to a much deeper level. I started practicing daily, every day, yoga and meditation. And that daily, regular practice was hugely instrumental in my healing process. I felt the difference. I knew the difference. I knew my practice of meditation and energy was helping to heal my body. And I felt the difference as I went through it. So I decided when I was cleared to go back to work to quit my full time job at a bank and share the wellness practices that I'd learned with others. So that's me. You can find more at purelyjane.com or email me at hello@purelyjane.com. So we will talk about improving your focus. Many people ask, or when many people come to me to learn meditation, the number one question and comment I get is, I can't meditate because I can't focus, or it's too hard to meditate, but if I can't focus, I get distracted. And that is normal. But it's completely normal to feel distracted and find it hard to focus. What people don't often realize is that a prerequisite that is unspoken to really settle into meditation and get deeper into it is to develop the ability to focus first and to develop that ability and practice it. Nowadays, we are so used to switching from screen to screen, our phone, our laptop, our TV, different tabs on our laptops, different apps on our phones, that we have lost a lot of our ability to focus. And you see that across the board, all ages. So when you start to improve your focus, whether you're using it for meditation or anything else, you will find it will get easier and better. But it is a skill, it is a practice. It is like building a muscle. It's something that you have to do over and over again. So, how you improve your focus when you're starting and you're easily distracted, set yourself up for success by making sure that you are in a quiet space. Make sure you've shut down any devices that you don't need, turn off notifications, close the screens, tell people you don't want to be disturbed, close the door. Set yourself up for success with your setting first. Next, center yourself and identify your focal point. So, what is it that you want to focus on? Be very clear on that and center yourself first. That means coming back to your body. Instead of living in your head, move your awareness down to your chest. Feel yourself seated. Feel your feet flat on the ground. listen to your breathing, just being present instead of giving all of your attention to the chatter in your mind. And then figure out what you're focusing on. And we can only focus on one thing at a time. There's no such thing as true multitasking. What people call multitasking is them flitting from one thing to the other. They go from one thing, they go to the other. That's what they call multitasking. But that actually degrades your focus over time because you're not learning how to focus on one thing at one time. So you can't actually text and drive at the same time. Maybe you text while you're stopped at a light, but you cannot focus on two things at one time. So find your focus point and keep it to that. And then what happens is whenever you get distracted, which will inevitably happen, it might be a sound, it might be a thought, it might be something you see, but when you get distracted, let go of that distraction. Notice that you've been distracted, let it go, and then bring your awareness back to your focal point. What are you focusing on? What is it that you want to give all your attention to? And what's important here is that when you do this, is not to criticize yourself, not to judge yourself and say, oh, I'm so bad at this. I shouldn't have done that. See, this is why I can't focus. All those things do not help. Judgment, the criticism does not help. And you're just wasting energy there. Just let go with no judgment. Your mind went to another thought of what you need to do later. That's fine. The point is that you need to become aware that your mind drifted. That is the first step. And once you're aware that your mind drifted, you can let that go and bring it back to your focus. So, and then you need to do that over and over and over and over again. And that's literally like building a muscle. The more you do that, the more you can be aware that your focus has wandered, that you've become distracted, and then let go of that distraction without any judgment and criticism. And then guide your awareness back to your body or your focal point each time. That is what matters. That's one rep. And then you need to do it over and over again. And the more you do it over time, what will happen is that noise, that internal chatter, those distractions that are inside your mind will start to fade away. But it takes time because maybe you've been living with run-in commentary in your mind for most of your life. So it is going to take time to rewire your brain, which is why I also want you not to criticize and judge yourself when any of this happens, because then you're just wiring those neural pathways with negativity, which doesn't help. So let it go with no judgment and come back. And this is how you improve your focus. It's no big secret, but what matters is doing it over and over again. A couple of points that I find really help is when we start to focus on something, maybe you want to meditate and you just finished doing one thing. And you're like, okay, it's time for me to meditate. My alarm just went off to meditate. I'm going to sit down and do it. What happens is you still have all this excess energy. You have this excess energy or nervous energy, whatever it is, you have excess energy built up. And that energy is moving around asking for your attention and it's distracting you. It might be a feeling in your body you get. You might start moving your leg around or thinking about all the things you need to do next. So when you are getting ready to focus and get into your quiet setting to set yourself up for success, try to move all that excess energy out first. One, by if you need to do something and you want to make sure you remember it, write it down, set an alarm, do whatever it is that you need to do to get it off of your mind. Then moving your body is really helpful. This is what monks, nuns, yogis have done for centuries. The act of moving your body first before you settle into meditation or whatever you want to focus on is very helpful because it allows you to move that excess energy that needs to be shaken off. And then it allows you to settle down, quiet, and focus. So if you find it hard to focus, before you do so, before you're sitting down to focus on whatever it is you need to do, you may want to do some yoga, take a walk around the block, just dance, shake your body out. Literally, you can just shake your whole body out, and that helps shake energy. Shake it from the top, from your neck, shoulders, arms, torso, bum, legs, hips, feet down to the ground. See it shaking all the way out and down. So when my daughter has difficulty focusing when we're doing something like math, and I can see she can't focus, or I can hear she can't focus, I stop and I actually get her to stand up, and we do a shaking exercise. We shake our bodies for like 10, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or a minute, and it helps. And then she's able to settle in and focus. So move your body first. That's why yogis practice yoga asanas first, postures. It's one of the reasons why. It's a moving meditation itself, but it helps you to actually focus. And breath work does the same thing. Breath work moves your energy. So move your body first if you need to. It doesn't hurt. And then when you're ready to settle in, to focus on whatever it is, you can ground yourself, come back to your body. Make sure you feel yourself sitting in the chair, feet on the ground. You could take a few slow, deep breaths, center and ground yourself. So that was how to focus. And I hope you guys found that useful. If you are interested in this deck after, you can email me and I can send you the deck as a PDF so you don't have to write this down. The next part that I want to talk about, which flows and transitions from focusing, is intuition and how to tune into your intuition. So if you are curious on how to tune into that innate wisdom that we all have to help guide you in your life decisions or your day-to-day activities, whatever it may be, you can learn how to better become attuned to your intuition. And you have all done this before. This is not something that is inaccessible to anyone. Everyone has felt their intuition before. You may think of a time when you felt you had to do something and you did it and it turned out to be right, or you ignored it and you realized it would have been much better if you tuned into your intuition. So intuition is our instincts. They are our body's intelligence, and it's connected to our innate inner wisdom that we all have and we're connected to. So we are more than just our physical body. Our physical bodies are not all that we are. So we have an energy that animates and fuels us, whether you call it a soul, spirit, your higher self. That intelligence, that higher intelligence, is what is connected to our bodies and connected to our intuition. And that is what you're accessing when you want to feel what is best for you. The problem is a lot of people have kind of tuned it out. They're so distracted by everything going on that they have no space to hear it, which is why learning how to focus and be quiet is very important first before listening to your intuition. And there's different ways you can connect to your intuition. Just like your five senses, you can feel it, you can maybe some people hear it. There's different ways that you can connect to your intuition. Just to give an example. So when you feel the intuition, we're going to talk about feeling in our bodies, feeling in our gut, our solar plexus, and our heart center. And I talk about this in my book, but there was a University of Cambridge study a number of years ago that looked at a bunch of financial traders. So financial traders in highly stressful jobs, trading millions of dollars in their orders, making split-second decisions based on what they see on the screen, responsible for huge portfolios of money. And they found that when they looked at the traders and who was most successful, so first they asked all the traders to do a heartbeat task, detection task, meaning they asked them, can you tell me, can you track your heartbeat? So they hooked them up, asked them to track their heartbeat, and they found that those that were the most attuned to their bodies, most able to accurately detect their heart rate, they were the ones that actually were the best traders. They were able to make gut, instinct, split second decisions based on how attuned they were to their bodies. So the better they were at detecting their heart rate, the more profitable they were, and the longer they were able to sustain themselves in the field of financial trading, which is really cutthroat, stressful, and difficult. And they compared overall financial traders, the group that they had, their ability to detect heart rates against a group control group, the regular population. They found overall the financial traders were better able to detect their heart rate, likely because they were so used to using their intuition on a daily basis with their job. But the ones that were the most attuned to their heart rate, attuned to their bodies, were the most profitable, successful, and long-standing. So this is not just some type of woo-woo thing. Our body is intelligent. Our body is always communicating with us. And what we need to do is learn how to listen. And when your body's communicating with you, often you will feel it in your gut or your heart center. So your solar plexus or your chakra, connecting to your soul's intuition, you're connecting to your innate wisdom, comes through the heart. So how do we do this? I'm going to walk through the steps, and then afterwards, I'm going to actually guide you through the practice. So I'll explain them now, and then we'll guide you through the practice. So one, just like the focusing, you need to quiet down. It's hard to hear and feel yourself when you're distracted by outside sounds, noises, or thoughts. So quiet down, shut down any devices you don't need, close your screens, mute, do not disturb. Then relax and center yourself. So again, very similar to the focusing exercise, first two steps. Take a few slow, deep breaths. You can relax your body, feeling yourself sitting in your chair or wherever you are, and then start to bring awareness to the space in the center of your chest, your heart chakra. Soften it. Try to feel that space inside your body, open and relax. So you're going to connect and feel it. Connect and feel to the space inside your solar plexus. So this is inside your rib cage, above your belly button, and below your chest is your solar plexus. And that's where your gut is, your gut instinct, gut reaction, when you feel things in your gut. So you're going to soften and relax that space inside your body, inside your rib cage, above the belly button, below the chest, relax it. And then you're going to do the same thing for the space in the center of your chest, your heart chakra. So then you kind of set yourself up. Then what happens is you're going to bring in the question or statement that you want guidance on. And you're going to feel yourself, if it makes sense to you, bring it into your heart chakra or the center of your chest. And what you will notice is a positive, affirmative response is when your body feels relaxed, when it feels calm, it feels open and soft. This is why making sure you get into a relaxed state first is important, because you want to know what that feeling is. And a negative response, a no response, is when you feel your body tighten up, close off, or stiffen. And the more you practice this, the more you practice becoming attuned to your body and focusing, the better, because there are some micro expressions that you may not catch if you're distracted. And what I find helpful and recommend to everyone is to test this out. You need to test this. You haven't done this before, so it's something you need to practice. So I always say, practice this with questions you know first, like your name, your real name, or your birthday, or whatever it may be. Practice it with real answers that you know the true answers to, and see how your body feels, see how you react. Because generally, I'm giving you how you will feel the positive and negative response, but you may feel something a little different, and that's fine. So test it out and notice how you are getting the yes and no answers. And there's some important things to keep in mind. So we all have an ego. We have an inner voice that is trying to protect us and guide us based on whatever has happened in the past. And the ego generally is fearful. They want to make sure that nothing bad is going to happen in the future. And the ego is often talking a lot. So sometimes you might hear the ego give an answer back because that is what you're most used to hearing. So it really does take practice, and you need to learn how to distinguish the answers between your ego and your intuition. Some ways you can notice this is that your intuition is quiet. Your intuition is very direct, generally shorter answers. There's no judgment in your intuition. Your ego is the opposite. Your ego is often louder. Often they might say, you should do this, or why didn't you do that? There's judgment and criticism in the ego answers. So notice the difference between the two, and you have to practice this. What I find helpful is I ask my ego to be quiet or ask my ego to step aside before I start these questions. The other thing that's important is to ask when you are calm, relaxed, and open, that you're not in a stressed, fearful state. Because what happens when you ask when you are feeling really stressed or scared or fearful is your body is assuming or feeling that you are in a stressful situation, and they may be responding with a negative, fearful response. So that's why connecting and relaxing is so important first. Ask when you're calm, relaxed, and open, not stressed or fearful. And the other points that are important to remember is when you tune into your intuition is not about giving you the answers to the future. It's not about giving you the lottery numbers. What your intuition is telling you is what is best for you at that point in time. So when you bring in a statement, when you ask a question, your intuition will respond with what is the best answer for you at that moment in time, which is why you may want to check in with your intuition multiple times on any particular topic or subject. Because as you, the environment, and your situation evolves, the answers may differ. So remember, this is not about predicting the future. This is also not about predicting things for other people. This is for you, for yourself. This is your innate inner wisdom, your intuition to help you live your life in the present moment. So I know that may feel like a lot, but what we're going to do now is practice. So if you are in a quiet place, that's great. If not, make sure you close the door, turn off any screens you don't need to have on, and just make sure that you're relaxed, and we are going to practice. So making sure you're sitting comfortably, you're not going to be disturbed. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes first. And we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to move some of this energy out. So I want you to take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth, blowing away anything you don't need. So again, inhale through your nose, feel your belly expand, your diaphragm expand, pull the breath down. Blow out any breath you don't need. Inhale through the nose, pull the breath down to the diaphragm. Feel it spread into the lungs. And exhale, blow out whatever you don't need. If you're starting to feel more relaxed, you can close your mouth and breathe in and out through the nose. If you still feel like you have excess energy or nervous energy you need to let go of, things from the day or the week or the month or whatever it may be, you can keep blowing out through your mouth until you feel like you've let all of it out. Start to slow your breathing down here. Bringing your awareness to the space inside your body, your heart center, your heart chakra. See if you can notice your breath first here inside the center of your chest. Just notice, observe that breath. And if you are able to notice it, see if you can slow it down. Perhaps when you're focusing on your chest, your heart chakra, you might notice there's tension. See if you can relax and soften even more. Soften the front of your chest. Soften your back between your shoulder blades. Relax your solar plexus, the space below the chest, above your belly button. Try to open it and relax here. Relax your mid-back. Placing your attention on this space inside your body. Imagine this space open and relaxing. And remember, anytime you get distracted by a sound, thought, feeling, whatever it is, let it go, no criticism or judgment, and guide your awareness back to your body every single time. So see if you can relax your solar plexus, your gut. As much as you can, soften it. Relax the front, the back, the sides. Feel the space inside your body. It might help if you tense it first and then let go, so you can notice what it feels like to soften. And then when you feel ready, move your awareness up into your heart center, your heart chakra, the space inside your chest, behind your sternum, behind your breastbone. And try to relax, soften, imagine it open. Again, it might help if you feel it tense and then relax. Feel your breath move freely in and out here. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your back is relaxed. Your chest is relaxed. Your stomach is relaxed. So notice what this baseline feels like to have a soft, relaxed, calm heart center, heart chakra. And it may help for you to place one hand on top of your chest, on one hand just underneath your chest, above your belly button. Closing your eyes, if that helps you become more attuned to the body and the senses here. So we're going to test this first. So when you are starting to tune into your intuition, it's best to start with statements or questions and answers that are simply affirmative and negative responses. We're not asking for a paragraph back from your intuition. You want just a negative or positive response. The negative, the no answer, is when you feel tightness, tension. The positive, affirmative, yes answer is when you feel relaxed, soft, and open. So if you start from a state where you're feeling soft, relaxed, and open, an affirmative answer will continue feeling this way or even relaxed even more. And if you start from this soft, relaxed, open state, a negative response, a no answer, you'll feel yourself tighten. I often feel my shoulders grow up or back would just tighten up, but So that's how you know. So keeping your hands may help start relaxed. We're going to start with a test because you need to get a baseline understanding of how your body reacts. And this takes practice. Again, your ego may step in, try to ignore that. Your intuition is direct, it is quiet, it is not judgmental. Your ego is the opposite. So taking a deep breath and relaxing your chest, we're going to bring in the question, or let's bring in a statement. It's best, let's start with statements because they're easier. You're going to say to yourself internally and hold it inside your heart center, if that makes sense for you. My name is, and give your real name. So my name is, I'll say my name is Jane, and notice how this feels. And you may want to have your eyes closed, tune into the space in the center of your chest first. You can feel it and notice any changes or feelings you had. And remember, they may be very micro, so you have to focus. And then we're going to clear it away, relax, let go. And you're going to close your eyes, feel your heart center, feel your chest, relax, soft. And you're going to bring in the statement again into your heart center, but you're going to give a name that is not yours. So, for example, I would say, my name is Lisa. So when I did that, I felt my shoulder tense and move back. I could feel my chest tense a little bit. So try it again, get quiet, tune in and try it. So we're not going to spend a ton of time because I want to take your entire afternoon, but that is how you test. And that's what you need to practice to get an understanding of your baseline. So if you feel like you have you felt the difference between the affirmative and the negative response, and you know what that is, now let's try it with a real question or statement you have. So if it's a question that you have, remember, it's only affirmative or negative responses. We're not asking for a sentence back. So what may be easier in the beginning is to make a statement in the form of the answer. So you might say, if I have a question of whether or not should accept a certain job, I'll say, accepting the job at XYZ company is for my highest and greatest good. And then I'll see if that feels like a positive response, a yes answer, or a no. Or I'll say, accepting the job at ABC company is for my greatest and highest good. So think about phrasing them in statements that you get a positive or negative response to. You might get other things. You might hear an answer. You might see or feel your head shaking, yes or no. I'm asking you to tune into your body first. Sometimes those might be different reactions, and until you get really attuned to your intuition and knowing the difference between where the sources of answers are coming from, make sure you're listening to your body. So try that now. So if you didn't have enough time to complete that, you may obviously do that anytime you want later on. What I do sometimes is I'll think about the question I want to ask first, write it down, and write all of the possible answers. And then I'll ask the question I'll relax, connect, ground, center, tune in, feel my heart center, feel my solar plexus. I might have my hands on my chest, solar plexus. I will bring the question into my heart center. So I literally feel it coming in. You might imagine it, whatever makes sense for you. And then I'll bring up the answers one by one. I'll bring up the answers, all the possible answers to the question. I'll bring the first one in, and then I'll see, did I get a positive or negative response? Did I feel tight or open? And I'll try to let it go, clear it out, and then do the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So try it at home and see how it goes. So if you want to learn more about connecting to your intuition and body, I have a whole chapter dedicated to the intuition part, and I have more exercises in there. In my book, The Answer, How to Get the Best Answers to Your Life's Biggest Questions. There is actually another intuition exercise which uses muscle testing, which I haven't shared with you today, but I think connect with me and then we can go into that. So thank you for spending the last 20 minutes with me. We'll have time for questions. So again, put your questions in the chat. For staying till the end, my thank you gift to you is a free one-on-one well-being coaching call. So maybe you're curious whether or not you were doing it correctly. Maybe you want to have guidance or someone there to help you with it. If you're interested in the other test, the other intuition test, book a call with me.